Proteus by Marc Everitt. Narrated by Fria. Prologue. He wished he hadn't taken the call. He knew why he had, but he would have given anything right then if he could have gone back in time 2 weeks. God, was that all it was? It seemed a lot longer. And thrown the phone on the floor, then stomped on it for good measure. The call had come, as all important ones do, when he was busy and was not really paying attention. He had seen the name of the caller display screen and had felt a sudden urge of unmistakable pride that he was the one they were calling. He was the one they came to when the shit was hitting the fan, and there was something about that which had always fed his ego, and no less on this occasion. There were other people who did his job, but few who did it as well as him, although some thought they did. He could clearly remember thinking that if that were the case, then his phone would not have been ringing. Theirs would. In hindsight, he really wished he had let those others take the call, as they would have surely been next on the list for the emergency summons. They could have borne the responsibility, and they would be suffering the guilt. Chapter 1. 2 weeks earlier. "Jamie," his wife shouted up the stairs, "we're going to be late." He knew if that he were honest, he was not that worried. He was not the father that he had always thought he would be, and he had grown to accept that. He loved his daughter and would not change her for the world, but that did not mean that he wanted to attend all of her school functions, least of all the dramatic productions put on twice a year. He was proud that she had a part in the production. This year she was one of the lesser orphans who sang along with Annie. She had wanted to be Annie, obviously, but he had never thought she was ginger enough to land that part, and probably not quite as good an actress as she would need to be. Unlike a lot of parents, Jamie was realistic as to what his daughter was good at, and what others could do better. He would not be keen to go and sit in a drafty hall on a rickety chair, listening to the coughing, chatting, murmuring, and general bad-mannered behavior which constituted being an audience at a school play, even if his girl had been in the lead role. With her barely being in it, he could think of 1,000 things he would rather do. His wife, Liz, was keen, though, as she always was when it came to this type of thing, and he was not sufficiently in her good books to be able to get away with not attending. He was just getting his shoes on, pulling the suede boots over his heel, and standing to wiggle his foot into place, when he heard the shout from the front door. He knew he did not have time to download that book to his phone that he had been planning to read during the show. That probably would not have been a good idea, so perhaps it was for the best. He could most likely find something interesting to read on the news sites if the show was as bad as some of the other ones he had been dragged to. He pulled his coat from the back of the chair by the dresser and swung it over his shoulders, then moved quickly to the door and made his way out to the stairs to join his wife and child. His daughter, Poppy, smiled up at him as he descended the stairs, and her expression was almost the polar opposite of the frown creasing her mother's face. Jamie grinned at her, years of experience telling them both what he was feeling about where they were going, and how she would be feeling about that. He hoped to charm Liz out of the bad mood that was gathering over her like a storm cloud. "Am I driving?" she said, snatching the car keys from the hook on the wall by the front door. He knew she didn't want to, and saw an opportunity to look like a better
Sample complete. Ready to continue?